But we started in footwear because footwear is one of the most difficult. And we knew if we could tackle footwear with all the different SKUs, sizes, widths, colors, variations that product challenges put forward, we knew that we could really take over any vertical.
Hey.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Jennifer Hazard, Director of Sales at Fitted. How you doing today, Jennifer?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me today.
It is my pleasure. Thanks for spending some time with us on Business Ninjas. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and about Fitted.
Oh gosh, where do I start? I was born in Pomona. No, I'm just kidding.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was. I was born in Pomona, California.
Did the Fairplex exist at the time?
It did, the Pomona Fair and all of that. My grandmother always says we're Pomona people. So
Where they will fry any food product ever conceived of. Yes.
That's right. That's right. But my business career, I went to school for fashion merchandising and design at the good old Florida State University.
Okay.
And when I came back, I was raised in Idaho, and I came back to Idaho after that, and found myself in a family retail store, a family that had been haberdashers for many, many years. And I stepped in, and they taught me all the things I needed to do to run a business, and ended up owning and running a retail business for over 20 years up in the Sun Valley, Idaho area. And yeah, I just fell in love with retail. I love the business. I love the people. I love being on the floor and all of that. And unfortunately, ended up closing that store. I ended up with two stores through the first recession in 2010, and found my way into SaaS sales. Worked with a startup down in California, and really loved kind of that startup world, and worked with them for about 8 years plus. And then I just kept my eye on Fitted. I saw what they were doing. I was back in the Boise area, which is where Fitted is based out of, and they really were bringing together brands and retailers in a really unique way. And I thought, hey, this may be my way back into retail in a roundabout way. And so I bothered them for about a year, and then finally came on board when they were ready for me. And I've been here for about 2 years.
Excellent. And tell us a little bit about Fitted and their role in the marketplace.
Yeah, so Fitted's very unique. When I started 2 years ago, we were on our kind of first product. We've built 3 products, all in concession of each other, in intentionally shooting for the product to the orders and payments platform that we launched in July. So the first product that was released was a e-com solution that wasn't out there before. It was a way for brands to kind of broadcast endless aisle to small retailers. And so you can imagine what happened during COVID. We were working with a customer base in the running retail space that had about 8% of retailers online before COVID. And then after COVID, over 90% of retailers online. And
Wow.
yeah, and Fitted was a big part of that. We were the first ones to build those relationships with the brands and asking them to live feed us their inventory files. So small retailers could show not only what they had on the floor, but what is possible, right? So now a small store can go up against the giants and give them a fair shot. So that was our first product. The second one, as you can imagine, the industry went from how the heck do I get in front of a customer to how the heck am I going to find inventory? So, a year ago, everything was botched up at the ports, and people were out of inventory, but pushing up against credit limits, and it was just a real mess. So we aggregated all the data that we had and created the Fitted marketplace, allowing authorized retailers to talk to other authorized retailers about their inventory and help each other out in a time when business was really struggling. And so from there, we launched the Fitted retail product that is now our bread and butter. It's really where we're seeing the future of retail going, and that's Fitted order and payments. And that's taking the best of a bunch of broken processes that are existing in the country and in doing business, and put them into one easy to use, seamless product, from product availability, visibility, all the way through to automated payments.
Excellent. That's a great way to solve the supply chain issues in a different way, right? To give smaller businesses access to inventory that's sitting there somewhere. Somebody wants to sell it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we here in LA were acutely aware of the supply chain crisis because if you drove anywhere near the coast, you were staring at 100 cargo ships just sitting around for a month waiting to get to port.
Yeah.
Hard to fathom, right?
It's incredible. And it was more than retailers just not having product, which was obviously the first most dire problem that was happening. But sub kind of category of that was honestly credit limits. So imagine as a retailer, you have a $20,000 line of credit with a brand. You've placed future orders and fill-in orders. All of that starts ranking up against your credit limit, right? But you may not have one shoe on your floor because it was all sitting back in port or any other kind of shipping inconsistencies. And so we saw that as, hey, you know what? There's a real problem out there with just communication. What's going on?
Hey, problems are usually opportunities as long as you're willing to roll up your sleeves. What's the origin story of Fitted? When did they come to be?
Love it. Yeah. So our CEO, Monty Kelleher, is an entrepreneur at heart. He started his first running stores when he was in his early 20s down in the Bay Area. And he grew them up to 5, then back down to 3. He had an event production company as well. So he is really fully baked in that run specialty world. And that's where the e-commerce really started. So, but Monty's always thought bigger. And he started with how can we kind of fix the solutions and these problem points in the run specialty world, and then expand it out from there. So we are a group of retailers and brand reps. Our most of our sales team and CS team worked in retail one way or another. So we really come at this with the customer's mind at heart, not just a bunch of developers and number crunchers who don't really understand the industry.
Excellent. And what verticals are you servicing at the moment?
Yeah, so we started off in run specialty. We quickly moved into the comfort footwear world. Now we're going into Western and work boots. We've brought on e-bikes. So our platform is built that we can really take on any product as long as there's a UPC attached to it. We can bring it onto our portal and into our network. But we started in footwear because footwear is one of the most difficult. And we knew if we could tackle footwear with all the different SKUs, sizes, widths, colors, variations that product challenges put forward, we knew that we could really take over any vertical.
Hey, if you tackle the most difficult vertical first, theoretically, the rest just sort of falls into place.
That's the plan.
And what are common problems you're solving for your clients?
Yeah. So, oh gosh, we kind of look at it in two-sided because when the fitted solution brings benefits to both retailers and to brands. So let's talk brands first, right? So one of their biggest problems are credit limits. How do we work and speed up the cadence of business when you have folks in the back end and obviously financial people kind of slowing business down? How can we get retailers buying our product faster and more often? And why are we using so many of our resources to chase down a $50, $100, $500 accounts receivable invoice when we could be putting that time, money, and effort into growing our company bigger? So Fitted steps in and allows anywhere from a one-store mom and pop retailer to have the same connectivity and the same processes in place as the big guys, as REI and some of these larger. So we bring technology and speed of business to the long tail of a brand's business.
Excellent. That leads into my next question, which is what makes you stand out from your competition?
Yeah, so I love this question so much because right now we don't have a competition. There's nobody out there doing what we do. So there's 3 huge behemoth verticals out there. One does nothing but inventory, right? Showing inventory, managing inventory. Another are ordering platforms. There's multi-million-dollar companies out there that are just B2B platforms. And then there's a whole nother vertical that's out there trying to collect your money. And so we are the first ones to bring it all into one place and automate it. So for a retailer right now, if you go on and you place your order, either calling up the brand or placing it on a different B2B site, then you have to remember, what are my terms? When am I getting billed? Oh, I have to remember in 29 days to log in and pay that bill in order to keep my discount. You're sorting through. And with Fitted, we've just automated the whole process.
Well, it's nice not to have any competition.
I know. We're
Everyone
watching
loves the,
back, though.
everyone loves the term disruptor these days, but it sounds like you guys are one, a legitimate one in your space. Um, Tell me, I would think that you have become invaluable in the last couple of years as COVID hit and all of these troubles surfaced and everyone is sitting at home ordering things. I would think that played right into your hand. Tell me about the growth of Fitted in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it has been incredible. And our partners on the retailer side have just been invaluable in our growth. They're the ones spreading the kind words about how nice it is to work with us and that we truly do have that retailer's success in mind. I shared a little bit with the e-com growth that was crazy, and then the network growth. I mean, we're getting thank you notes throughout 2020 from retailers saying, thank you so much. You helped me get product at a time where I couldn't find any. And that's a wonderful thing to get. We just got a wonderful email from one of our brands that came on board and said, we're seeing 133% year-over-year growth, and we attribute that to our relationship with you guys. So it feels good because the company's growing fast, but it feels good because we're retailers, and we love to hear success stories like that.
Excellent. In terms of stories, it's 2023. You got to tell your story. How are you getting the message out, and what role has content played in the growth of fitness?
Yeah, it's just starting, I will say. It has been grassroots from this end. It's been me heading up the sales team, growing my sales team now. We are hitting every trade show because we are a disruptor. You really nailed that, because it takes some education on what we're doing. And usually the response back is, nobody's doing this. And then they're saying, how are you doing this? Right? So there's some real explanation that needs to go in. We are now getting on wonderful podcasts like yours to spread the word. We are looking towards magazine articles and getting business success stories printed out there. But we definitely are looking in that area of growth. We're ready. We've tested the product. We know that it works. So now we're ready for hyper growth. So now, hey, I'm ready as the sales director of sales for some really nice inbound leads.
Well, I know a guy. All right. Fast forward a year. What's something you'd like to be celebrating personally and professionally?
I think for Fitted, I would love to hit the 100+ brand mark, that we have over 100 brands and that they're doing 75% of their business with us. To me, that would be a huge success. And personally, I think personally also ties back in. I mean, I'm a true believer in that the number one job as a leader is to train the person that's underneath you to take over your job. If you're not doing that, you're not helping your company to grow. So I would love it that if one or two people on my team are moving up the ranks, that next time that you reach out and talk to Fitted in a year from now, I introduce you to somebody else and I'm onto something great within the same company. I have no aspirations to leave Fitted, but I truly believe in that mentality that you only get stronger by raising other people up on your team.
I absolutely heartily concur with that. What is your URL? Where can people find Fitted, and what social media channels are you using these days?
Yeah, so fittedretail.com will get you to where you need to be. There's brand links and retailer links to learn more about how we work with each one of those with those customers. We are on LinkedIn. We're on Instagram. I'm not sure if we're on Facebook. All the majors. Yeah, all the majors. We are very active on LinkedIn. I really do believe in the business side, and also on Instagram. We love to celebrate the new brands. Every week you'll see more and more brands joining us. Please find me on LinkedIn. I'm always looking to grow my network of folks. And if you're in footwear, if you're in tech, fintech, whatever it is, send me an invite. I'd love to connect.
Excellent. Jennifer Hazard, thank you for spending some time with us today on Business Ninjas. I wish you and Fitted all the best in the future, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Take care.